Welcome back to The Substitutes. Joining me today is Majid, and today we're going to look at a topic that was kind of inspired by two things. A previous video about Pep Guardiola, whether he underachieved in Europe, and Sir Alex Ferguson's new documentary. So we're going to be looking at Alex Ferguson and whether he underachieved at Manchester United, specifically in Europe, which possibly is a strange thing to say, because at 26 years at the club, he won 38 trophies. But notably, only 2 of them were Champions League trophies. Majid, I'm gonna ask you a question now, and I want to add a little bit of context to it before I let you go. Did he underachieve in Europe's premier competition? But I'm talking about post-1999, because you remember, in the early 90s and mid-90s, there was only the 3-foreigner rule allowed. So already he wasn't at full strength, he couldn't pick players like Giggs and Keane. But after 1999, do you think he underachieved in Europe?
So like, as you said, we're talking about underachieving of the greatest of all time, so it's not that big a deal, everyone, like relax. But at first glance, when you look at the statistics, I think it's like a very overwhelming yes. But then when you dig into it with the context and the environment and everything around it, it kind of does go towards no. It's actually a very seesaw. Every time I think I'm going to say yes, I say no. And when I think it's overwhelmingly no, I kind of say, you know what? Yes, he did. So what I mean by that is after 99, so I didn't know about that. After 99, he goes through a dry spell. But at the same time, he does win in 07-08. And he does reach the final in 08-09. And he does reach the final in 10 and 11. That, to be honest, is his European dynasty that he talked about. From 06-07 to 10-11. There's a semifinal, a win, a final, a quarter, and a final. So I think that is his European dynasty. The unfortunate fact of the matter is he ran into a historic Barcelona team.
So, yeah, look, I know about, when I look back at it, I kind of feel the same way, right? But there are, before we go into Barcelona, and we all know about that Barcelona team, right? Do you think there were some seasons where he possibly could have achieved more? Like he could have, you mentioned semifinals and finals, but there were some seasons where he kind of did mess up.
And so that's the thing. Just before 06-07 to 10-11, that purple patch where he achieved some stuff, in 03-04, it's a first knockout round against Porto. Paul Scholes' offside goal disallowed. The next year, 04-05, again, a first knockout round against AC. And then 05-06, they go out in the group stages with Villarreal, Benfica, and Lille. And those 3 years are really damning. Those are the ones that really do hurt, because also in those 3 years, they didn't have the domestic dominance. They didn't win the Premier League in any of those 3 seasons. So those 3 are really, it does start hurting. Before that, you have still quarterfinals, semifinals, appearances. So those kind of make up it. But that 3-year period, first knockout round and group stages, that really hurts.
So you touched upon that rebuilding phase. That was the phase when Beckham left. Keane had also left at that point, or was about to leave at that point. The team was rebuilding. So he came back strong. But before that as well, you mentioned quarterfinals, that was Real Madrid. One of the first Galacticos sides for Real Madrid. The one in 02 was against Bayern Leverkusen. Semi-finals, got knocked out on the away goals. And RIP to the away goals, by the way. It was also, so that one, by the way, he felt pretty badly about that defeat. So I kind of feel there was that period after 99 where he could have actually done something. Between 99 and maybe 04, he could have gone a little bit further, and he didn't. And then he rebuilt, and then, like you said, he won in 07-08. So talk to me now about something you referenced earlier on, the Barcelona side. But do you think he did anything wrong there, or do you think he just went against the best?
So by his own admission, he tactically didn't play Messi well. He himself says he could have played Ji-sung Park, and Ji-sung could have been probably the only guy fit enough stamina-wise to play 0 to 90 or as close to 0 to 95 as you can get versus that Barcelona team. I mean, there's an anecdote where Ferdinand is walking off with Vidic after one of the finals, the second final, and what the fuck just happened? And that's very telling. Like, that's the thing. Fergie reconstructed after losing Beckham and all of this, the Chelsea monster coming in terms of the EPL. He did rebuild, and I genuinely do feel he achieved in the European League. He just unfortunately ran into convert one of those finals into a win, or the semi-final against Milan. Even that 06-07, the Milan team was Kaká, Clarence Seedorf. It was stacked. It was another three-headed monster actually on its own in Italy. And so I think, in my opinion, after having gone through everything and researched it and checked it out, I originally was like, hell yes. I was originally very open and shut. Yes, he's clearly underachieved for someone like Ferguson. But then when you cut to it, I feel he did create that achievement from 06-07 to 10-11. There was a European dynasty. It's just that Barcelona team. And what can you do? Yenny, okay, even if he changes Ji-sung Park, I don't know if the result changes. It just hurts a little less.
All right, before we transition, I want to add a couple of things about this, right? Because you mentioned it, and I just want to add to your point. Whether I agree or disagree, I'm just adding to it. So Brian Clough, between 99 and 07-08, Brian Clough always used to have a go at Ferguson. He said, you win one, but one you can say it's lucky. If you win two, you know you're good. And there are currently 16 managers, I believe it is, that have won the CL twice. I believe there are only 3 who have won it 3 times. Fergie is part of an elite group that has been to 4 finals. So that's kind of telling on its own. So it's back to something that you argue constantly. Context matters. In every story, context matters. But just for example, go on, sorry.
So context matters. I agree with everything. I agree. But between 96-97 to retirement, 12-13, he played 17 tournaments, 17 Champions League tournaments. He won 2. There were 2 finals, 3 semifinals, 5 quarters, 1 round of 16, 2 first knockout round, and 2 group stage exits. And the beginning is cool. 2 wins, 2 finals, 3 semis, even 5 quarters I'll accept. It's that tail end, the round of 16, the first round knockouts, and the 2 group stage exits. I think if you convert each one of those to the next step, that regret or that feeling of underachievement does not get there. The one thing I'll say about the United sides, they were not like Bayern Munich, for example, or Germany in the World Cup are an automatic. You can close your eyes and they're going to reach the quarterfinals 90%. You can blink with one eye and they'll hit the 70% mark for the semifinal. And 50% of the time they'll hit finals. With United, it was never like that. One year they were semi-finalists, the next year round of 16, then finalists, then group stages. They were all over the map in terms of, and that's where I only look at 06-07 to 10-11. There was that consistent excellence, but that was preceded originally by 03-04 to 05-06, 2 first round knockouts and a group stage exit. So it's all sort of, roller coaster ride.
Yeah, that's a fair point, but I want to actually go back to something that you mentioned. Tactically in 09, the Champions League final, 11 as well, 10-11, he said he got his tactics wrong. There was one other season, his final season, where do you think he got any tactics wrong against Real Madrid? The Nani red
you
card.
tell me.
The Nani red card. So this is one of the things that you mentioned, and I want to relate it back to his final Champions League match. In the build-up to the match, he told his players, Ferdinand and well, all of them basically, he told them, I made a mistake in 2010, 2011. I tried to go toe-to-toe with Barcelona. After Nani got that red card, there was a 10-minute period where Fergie didn't make any changes. And I don't know if you remember this image, but the moment the ref brandished the red card, he pushed over his assistant and just barged past him and went down shouting. He was so angry that he forgot to make a substitution. He should have brought on Carrick.
I get what you're saying. Yeah. Yes.
So...
yes, absolutely.
It's I don't want to tarnish the man's legacy, right? Because like you said, he achieved a period of sustained excellence in the Champions League from a certain point to the tail, like for basically 5 years, there was sustained excellence in the Champions League. Semi-finals, finals, and so on. But for argument's sake, say for example, there are people who would say he underachieved. And there will always be people who say that. For them, do you think that you could discount all his other achievements which made him great? His man management, his domestic dominance?
Well, that's the other thing. Ferguson, for his underachievement on one side, he overachieved twice, double, triple time on the other side, right? He was busy winning other things. He was winning the EPL, the FA Cup, the Club World Cup. There's a number of titles and trophies that it wasn't like he never won. And like, it's only did he not achieve in the Champions League, and even then he did all right. In the middle of this, he is winning. He's domestically dominating in the EPL. Also to this, he oversaw, change in ownership, which that I think had a lot to do with how it shows how good of a manager he is, being able to sort of pull yourself up from the bootstraps. And the other thing, and I think this cannot be underestimated, he was also overlooking the creation of a branding powerhouse. And United would not be what it is in terms of a brand, in terms of marketing, if not for the EPL and all those consistent winning in titles and trophies domestically. And I do believe he would, sure, he was football only or football like 90%, but there would have been a bit of him or managerial pressure for him to continue to brand United as a winner, as a, 95-minute squeaky bum time champion.
So there are a couple of interesting things that you pointed out there. One, the change of ownership. He had a little bit of investment at first, but not as much as people remember. Like, they sold Ronaldo, they bought some players. Not the most amazing players. And if you look at the tail end of his squad, they were all, like, at the end of his career, his squad was aging. Giggs was in his late 30s, Scholes was in his late 30s, Ferdinand was in his early 30s. I think he did pretty amazing with that squad. And then finally, one of the other things that you said is the commercial brand. Like, that is something that you mentioned right now, is his legacy in so many ways that has sustained United after post-retirement, don't you think?
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's where, so if you don't do well Champions League, but you're doing well in the EPL and as a commercial entity, that's double your victories, double your victories right there. You can't focus on everything. You're not Real Madrid, like, you can't win everything. But that's where, again, my personal answer, did he underachieve? It's both yes and no. It's no and yes. It's a seesaw. Every time I think I'm going one way, my heart says the other. Every time I think I'm going no, I say yes. So it's a yes and no for me. It really is.
Quite simply, that was the one that I wanted to end it with. Do you think his legacy was tarnished? And you think you're completely, you just can't really decide. And I get that. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think his legacy was tarnished because he only won 2 European Cups? Does that discount, yeah, I know, only 2 European Cups. Does that discount everything else he's done at the club? Man management, domestic dominance, and rebuilding teams even under new ownership. A like and a subscribe would go a long way, and we'll see you guys next time.